Hi, good morning everyone. It's Friday and it's a happy day. The weekend is coming. For those of you who's not working the weekend, of course, something to look forward to. So today we're going to do some fancy eggs. So I like doing these on the weekend or if I've got guests. And it's the French recipe and it's Oeufs en cocotte, or you can call them shirred eggs in English, which I didn't know until this morning when I looked it up. So you could do them in the oven or on the stovetop. So today we'll just do them on the stovetop. In Dr. Dukan's blue book, this one over here, there's a recipe for them in here. I'm just tweaking the recipe just slightly. But if you're interested, I will put a link of this book in the video description. So we'll be back in a minute and then I'm going to show you how to do those fancy eggs. Okay guys, so we're going to show you now what you need for these eggs that we're going to be doing today. So down here I've got 4 eggs because I'm going to make 4 portions of it. In this bowl here I've got 120 grams of smoked salmon just cut into strips. It's a little bit more than the book says. And then over here I've got some low-fat quark, and you can also use ricotta if you want. The original recipe is ricotta. And that would be for your protein day. And then I've got over here just a few frozen peppers, sweet peppers that I've put in some water to defrost. And I'm going to do these for if you have your vegetable day, you can add some veggies to your mix as well. So the next thing you're going to need is a dish that you can put on your stovetop or in the oven. And I've got 4 ramekins here. And we're just going to grease them with a little bit of oil. So that's going to be our first step. I'll take some paper. Just put a tiny bit, half a teaspoon or something of oil on there. And I'm just going to wipe the ramekins with a little bit of oil just to grease them. There we go. And now I'm going to be using our quark here. So I'm using a nice heaped spoonful of quark for each portion. There we go. There we are. And then I've also got, I didn't show you earlier, but we've got some nice fresh dill. I'm going to put that on top of the quark. And at this point you can also put some seasoning, salt and pepper or other spices. I'm just going to leave it plain for today. And now it's time for the salmon, so kind of separate this so you've got 4 equal bits. I'm just going to sprinkle that on top and level it slightly. In the book they're using a little bit less salmon. There we go. This one. And now I'm going to just take the peppers out of the water and just squeeze them slightly to remove the excess moisture out of there. So it's basically just a small handful of peppers. There we go. You can dry them a little bit on a piece of paper. Instead of peppers, you can of course use some cooked spinach or some cooked mushrooms. And instead of the salmon, you can use some chopped up ham or sausages or even bacon if you like. There we go. So I'm just making 2 veggie ones and 2 protein ones. There we go. Little piece of salmon. And now, of course, we need to put the eggs in. That is the star of the show. So I'm just going to crack them and break them straight onto the salmon and cream cheese. There we go. You can just wiggle it around a bit so the whole dish has got a bit of egg. There we go. There we are. All right, so now what we need some hot water. You can use very hot water or you can boil some water, it's up to you. I just put the boiling water in. And you're looking for at least an inch of water. It needs to be at least halfway up the ramekin or 2/3 even, but not much higher than that because the water will boil into the dish. Here we go. So you see with your ramekin the water level, it comes up to about here. So about 2/3. So now we're going to put this on the stove top. You could, of course, pour the water when you're at the stove top. Here we go. And I'm going to cover this now with some foil. So I've got 2 sheets here, just overlap them a bit. It depends on how wide your foil is. And I'm just tucking it in around the edges. There we go. So now basically you're going to just switch on the gas and you want the flames to be sort of on a medium heat because you want the water inside just to simmer. And we're going to put a timer on, and this process can take now anything between 3 and 6 minutes. It all depends on whether the water was boiling hot in the beginning, how fast your cooker is, how big your dishes are, how big the eggs are. So you're going to have to experiment a couple of times till you find the exact timing for the eggs. But please persevere because they are absolutely worth it. So we're going to come back to these guys in about 5 minutes time to see how they're looking. Okay guys, so that's been about 5 minutes now. I'm going to have a look to see what they look like. So they might be a little bit overcooked, but yes, you need to play around. It could have been maybe another half a minute less, but it's very difficult in the beginning when you make them. So I'm going to just leave them in the water to just cool off for a minute, and then we will take them out. Okay guys, so I've just put them on a couple of plates here. I'm going to just have a look-see here at this one. Yeah, you see there, it's still nice and runny, so that would be perfect. So this is one of our veggie ones, and I mean, depending on how your family likes their eggs, you know, just cook them the way they like them. Then over here to serve it with, I've got our everyday Dukan bread. If you look amongst my videos, it's the #1 video called Everyday Dukan bread. So in there I'll show you how to make it. So I'm going to serve our eggs here today with a slice of Dukan bread. I put the slice on this side actually. Here we go. And then I've got a little bit extra salmon here. So if you wanted to do a little garnish on top, you could roll a little salmon rose if you want. But the idea is to serve your little breakfasts while they're still nice and warm. So I'm just going to scrunch it up on the top here. And little bit on here. And then I've got a little bit more fresh dill here. Can do a little bit of dill on top. And then I've got some nice fresh chilies. So if you like, just a little bit of chili on top to give it a bit of a bite. And of course a little bit of color makes it look nice as well. Tiny bit of parsley if you want. There we go. So that's all done. Now if you really wanted to do a little bit extra, I can show you here, is a bit of quark. So to make a quenelle, you just make it very, very full, and with your second teaspoon, just smooth it off. And then you can just spoon that on the side. There we go. So you could do that if you wanted to. You don't have to, but it's a nice way of finishing that off with a bit of creme fraiche or some quark. And then what I'm going to do, just put a little bit of black pepper on there, and that's ready to serve now. Okay guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're going to be making these for your family and your friends. I just find it so nice to make that, and you know, you can put any kind of fillings in there and people will appreciate that little bit of effort. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.